All right. It's go time. So, welcome to today's presentation. Okay, this is being streamed. It should be streamed on LinkedIn, Facebook, um, Instagram, YouTube, wherever all those places, right? So, let's as I'm giving a couple of seconds or minutes here for individuals to join. If you're already here, if you can already see me and you can already hear me, just drop a number one. Drop a number one. I'm streaming using StreamYard. I think if you're posting on Facebook, the number one, if you're dropping the number one underneath this video or on LinkedIn or wherever you're watching, it should appear here so that I can see it. So go ahead and drop that number one. If you could, I guess let's do a number one if you could hear me, and number two if you could see me. Okay, so one and two if you could hear me and see me. Look, I am excited. We've been planning this for the last couple of weeks. And as a business owner, if you're watching this, most likely you are a business owner. It's always okay. Awesome. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that for dropping the one and the two. Fantastic. Love you. Thank you for dropping that. So, as a business owner, you always have these amazing ideas. You want to push this content out. You know that it's going to bring value, but you always want to make it perfect, right? You always want to make it perfect. Make sure it's really hitting the spot. It's really bringing tremendous value. And I've pushed this out and pushed this out and pushed this out. Eventually, we're like, okay, we nailed it. We said we're gonna go live today, and here we are. So I'm gonna give another second. So I do see Diane. Thank you for jumping in. We're gonna go through quite a bit. We're gonna cover a lot in today's training. Now, there's actually 4 sessions. This is actually designed for 4 sessions. This one I'm gonna kind of cover quite a bit, and as the title kind of depicts there, the game changer you've been missing. Why settle for just a website when a funnel can revolutionize your customer journey? Okay, that's what we're gonna be talking about. If you don't know what a funnel is, don't worry about it. Right? If you don't have a website, don't worry about it. Right? We're gonna be covering all of this in today's session. I'm going to start off a little bit slow on pace. Just keep track, stay focused, right? So that when I start to speed up, I don't lose you. Okay. So we're about 4 minutes in or so. So 2 minutes and 39 seconds in. So I'm going to start diving in, and hopefully people are able to join, but there will be a replay of all of this. So let me jump off screen for a second here. All right. So we already talked. We're going to be a lot of today is going to be focused on funnels versus a website. I know everybody knows what a website is, right? Raise your hand if you know what a website is, right? Drop a like or a heart or a comment if you know what a website is. If and let me know if you know what a funnel is. If you know what a funnel is, drop in the comments funnel. Yes, something, right? Let me know that you know what a funnel is. If you don't, or you've heard the term but you don't really get it, don't worry. We're going to be covering all of that today. All right. So start off, regardless of your industry, okay, there's a bold statement, but I strongly stand by this statement. Regardless of your industry, this is the number one solution to getting more high quality leads and converting them into buyers without losing money while you're acquiring them. Okay. So regardless of the industry, and that's what we're going to be covering today. So if that intrigues you, excites you a little bit, getting more quality leads, not quantity, and converting them into buyers, while at the same time not losing money, then have not heard of funnels. Okay, Fueler, no worry about it. I'm gonna break it all down on this training. So just stay focused up, Fueler, because I'm gonna be covering quite a bit of funnels, and I'm gonna try to break it down as simple as possible. It's not a complex topic, but I'm gonna try to break it down as much as possible. All right, awesome. So who this is for? Who is this for? Right? And I don't want to waste your time. Right? You've probably watched webinars and presentations and all this kind of stuff. Our time is so valuable, right? Your time is so valuable. My time is super valuable. So I want to make sure that look, you're in the right place. Okay. So I'm going to talk about like who exactly is this for. All right. So this is for this, and these are specifically, and I talked about earlier, this is basically any industry. The list that I have here are the industries that we have worked with directly and we have gotten results with directly over the last 7 years. Okay. So information products, so course creators, right? Subscription products. So if you have a monthly subscription, $40 a month, $20 a month, whatever, $129 a month, whatever it is. E-commerce. If you have an e-commerce brand, coaching, consulting, speakers, authors. We love working with authors. Authors are amazing. B2B lead generation. So if you have a business where you're targeting other businesses, and then local small businesses like gym owners, health pros, and chiropractors. Okay. Now this funnel, what we're going to be talking about, absolutely works for local businesses as well. It just requires a little bit more nuance, and because of the geographic limitations, it's a little bit more challenging, but it absolutely can work for local businesses as well. If you're nationwide, you're remote, you could serve people all over the country or the world. This is absolutely for you. If you have a low ticket, it could be low ticket offer. It could be $40 a month, or $40 product, up to 100 $1,997, so $2,000. And it works for high ticket as well, 2,000 to 30,000. Reason why I put 30,000, that is kind of like, as over the last 7 years, that's the highest we've helped our clients with. But this strategy, what I'm going to be sharing with you, can work for even higher ticket offers than 30 grand. Okay. And then lastly, who is this for? This is for you if you already know and have validated your ideal customer. You know your ideal customer in and out, right? You have successfully sold your product or service, right? You have validated your prices, and you have testimonials and reviews. It doesn't mean, okay, that you don't want to learn about this. It doesn't mean that this can't work for you down the road. It just means that if you have all of these things that I just talked about in these last 3 slides, this is absolutely for you, and it's something that you can implement right now in your business to grow and scale your business. If you don't have all these criterias and you're still new to the business, it is something that is still very valuable to learn and understand that this is something you want to implement in your business very quickly. Okay. All right. I have one more. This is also for you if you either know or have a good sense that your ideal customer can be reached via social media. So Facebook, IG, TikTok. Your email list, if you have an email list of about approximately 1,000 subscribers, right? And then your social media followers, you have social media followers is a bonus, right? So having IG, Facebook group, those kind of things is also a bonus. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you fall in those criteria right now in your business. Go ahead and say yes, right? Just drop a quick yes, whether you're on live or in the replay. If you meet most of these criteria, then go ahead and say yes. Okay. So yeah. So if you meet most of those criteria, this is absolutely for you. So here's an example, and I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time showing you a lot of case studies. Actually, someone on my team will actually drop a link to our website. We have case studies, we have testimonials, we have all that stuff on our website. So you can spend, you can focus up here. So I can spend most of the time giving you the value and information here, and then you could just go on my website and see the results and case stories. Okay, but here's an example: 30K. Right, this client again met all the criteria that I talked about. This is why this is perfect for someone who already met all those criteria, because we signed on with this client. We came on board June 16th, June 17th. I forget what this was, like 2019. And you can see between the time that we signed on halfway through the year, we implemented what I'm going to be sharing with you today for this client in a number of different ways, for a number of different offers that this client had. And this client, the total generated for that month was $58,769. But the last week, which is the last week that we were part of this client's strategy, helping out, that client generated uh, $30,395. So you could do the math there. So in the last week, generated more revenue than the prior 3 weeks. That is the power of what I'm going to be sharing with you today. That is the power of a funnel. Okay, that and it's tough. I sometimes I want to get back on screen and I'm like moving between screens here. So that is literally the power of what I'm going to be sharing with you. And I'm gonna sprinkle in some of these results that we've seen with our clients because sometimes you just need to see the numbers, right? So it could kind of sink in. But again, on my website, the link has already been dropped. You could go after this, not right now. Stay focused up. After this, go to my website. You can see a lot more with full details, backstory, and everything. Okay, so that's one example. This is the same client a month later. Same client because we were looking at June. We were looking at June. If you look at the very bottom there, and it's a little hard to see. It was June of 2019. 1 month later, same client, you could see generated $98,898.69, double the income, right? Continuing to implement the funnels and the strategies that I'm gonna be sharing with you today on this training. All right, I'll go through this. This is a brick and mortar, so because this is an online business, just so you know that like I mentioned, this works for brick and mortar as well. This was I think in an 11-day promotion, did 36,000 for this brick and mortar. And for this medical doctor who has a book I talked about, we love authors. We helped this doctor sell 5,179 copies of his book. This book was 3 years old at the time and generated $73,000 in revenue. Okay, so who am I? Okay, who am I? I just kind of spent a couple of minutes here, showing you some of our work. But who the heck is this guy, right? Who am I, and why should you listen to me, right? Because right now, for some of you, I may be some random dude on the internet, right? And maybe I have something, maybe I have something interesting to say. Right? Maybe you're intrigued with what I've covered so far. But also, it's possible I may have the solution you've been searching for, right? I may have the exact solution you've been searching for, but just didn't know that something like this existed. Or maybe you've tried something like this before with another company, or you've got a freelancer or something, and it just didn't work, and you felt like, oh, this doesn't work for you, and so you lost that confidence in it. Uh, so it could be a number of different reasons, right? So, but what I'm also, going the wrong way, but also what I am, because I'm all for these things right now, potentially to you. I could be a random dude on the internet, someone with something interesting to say, someone with the solution you've been looking for. But I'm also a fractional digital marketing architect. Okay, what that means is that I help businesses accelerate their growth with smart systems and automation, right? Helping them to unlock consistent growth without sacrificing their family, their health, or their sanity in the process. Because it doesn't serve you if you're making a lot more money, but yet your hair is on fire all the time. Like the systems, the automation, you don't have those things in place, or you do and they're broken. And yet you're the more systems you put in, the more firefighting you're dealing with, right? You need these systems to actually work for you, right? And that is where the fractional digital marketing architect comes in. In terms of me being a random dude, well, let's talk about that a little bit, right? Let's get a little personal. And look, I don't want this to be just a webinar or something where I'm just sitting here talking and you guys, I'm droning on. Please engage. Let's get a little bit personal. Share with me some random tidbit about yourself. Something that you do, you like doing. Just drop it in the comment. I'll be able to see. Diane, thank you for thank you for the love. I'm gonna put that up. Diane, love you. Thank you for the love there. Appreciate it. Giving me a little boost of confidence. So let's share, right? Share a little bit so that this is a conversation as opposed to you just listening to me. So as I share some of tidbits about me, couple of things. Number one, I'm a dad of 3 girls. So please, absolutely, if anything else, pray for me, right? If you don't do anything else, pray for me. I'm a dad of three girls. Two are in the teens, right? 15, 13, and one who is pretty much 11 going on 30. Right. So go ahead and definitely pray for me. Fun fact, a couple of fun facts. I've if you've ever seen the movie Independence Day, if you ever seen the movie Independence Day, there was a part where they were about to tell the president that aliens actually do exist, and they had to go to like Area 51 or wherever that place is. And he went down into the tunnel, and then like you see these people on the other side of the glass, and they were all wearing like these weird suits, which we call like bunny suits. I actually worked in an environment like that for 14 years of my life, right out of college. That's the image of me. I was actually a manager, and I managed. This was my team. That was my entire team that I managed for 14 years, working night shift from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. In addition to that, I had a podcast for 2 years that reached over 1 million people and hit like number one in all three iTunes categories, even beating the great Gary Vaynerchuk, which you can see on the bottom right hand corner there. That's Gary V, my podcast there. When I took that screenshot, I was number 2 in the business category, and Gary V was somewhere in the number 8 category. So I had to take that screenshot, but we hit number 1 in business as well. All right, so that's a little bit about me. Again, please share. Let me know if you're watching, whether you're watching live or watching on the replay. Just share a little tidbit. Let me know what you have going on. From there, I ended up, after I left that situation where I was working with the bunny suits for 14 years, I ended up launching my own business. That was about 6.5 years ago. We started with one name. We then rebranded to Integrate & Co., built a team, and has done some pretty awesome stuff over the last 6 years. We've helped clients. These are 2 of our clients here. We've helped our clients make $1 million through one award, through one funnel, what I'm going to be sharing with you. Through one funnel, make $1 million. We've had clients who made $10 million through one funnel, right? So 6, 7, and 8 figures, right? So we've done all of that. Again, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time. 6.5 years. Go to my website. The link was dropped. And we have 23 pages of client results on the website, as well as testimonials and case studies and all that kind of good stuff. With all that being said, you know a little bit about me. As I mentioned earlier, let's focus up, right? We're 17 minutes in. We're about to dive into the content here, right? This is where I'm going to start to speed up a little bit, get a little bit geeky. So I'm going to try to keep it, use as few geeky jargons as possible. I can't get around the word funnel. That's the word. That's the term. You're just going to have to deal with that one. But I'm going to explain what a funnel is in the most simplest way possible. So what I'm asking you right now is, I am a Diane. Thank you. I am a God, a child. I am God's child, a wife, a mom, a grandma. Oh, I love it. I love it. A wife, a mom, a grandma, a great grandma, a teen and women facilitator and author. Diane is amazing. My daughter went through Diane's program for teens, and it was amazing. Actually, two of her programs. So Diane, I absolutely recommend if you have a teen, whether it's boy or girl, it doesn't have to be daughter. If you have a teen, virtual, Diane has a virtual program. Absolutely amazing. Definitely click on Diane's bio or whatever, check it out. But thank you, Diane. And yes, I should have. You see, Diane, you already checked me. Like number 1 should have been God, right? So I actually just came from a man up retreat with my church, Liberty Church, back in this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that is absolutely number 1. That is, it's not a requirement to work with me, right? It's not a requirement for you to watch this, but I am a man of faith, and it's a big part of what I do and how we operate and how we operate with our clients. So Diane, thank you for dropping that. And that's why I want everyone to kind of like share a little bit, right? So we get to know each other a bit here. All right, so going back to this, let me take this down. Focus up. We're, again, 19 minutes in. We're about to get into it. So let's dive in.
And I really, really appreciate everything that you do for our business. But I want you to know, and I've always said it before, and you guys are an integral role of people getting healthy. Like you are part of that. Like people are alive because of you. So I really appreciate you.
Thank Awesome. That was a quick, this is actually last December. That was one of our clients, one of our doctor clients who actually left, uh, gave us that little testimonial there. Um, so, which was really powerful because again, sometimes with the work, you guys can't see me. This is the back and forth. Sometimes with the work that I do, I'm not the doctor. I'm not the lawyer. I'm not the author. I'm not this, like Diane, this facilitator that is changing teen lives. That's not me, right? I'm the geek, right? I'm the guy that knows the tech, right? I'm the one that knows the strategy uh, that can help you to reach more of your audience, to help more people, to have a bigger impact. And to hear something like that from one of our clients, that client deals with type 2 diabetes. And we worked with that client for over 3 years. Um, to hear that, it helps me to connect the tech that I'm doing to the actual impact that we're having, right? And that's really what my goal is. My mission is to help individuals like you take what you're doing, the amazing value, the transformation that you can have in individuals' lives, and reach more people. Okay. All right. Awesome. So engage, ask questions, interrupt me. Let's make this engaging. Even if I don't get through this entire presentation, don't worry. I have like 70 something slides. So even if I don't get through all this presentation, please ask me questions. It's more important that you understand what I'm going over and that we're engaging versus me getting through 70 slides. All right. Okay. So first off, first, let's address the elephant in the room. Maybe potentially this is what attracted you to this presentation. There's 5 reasons your website is killing your business. Okay, 5 reasons your website is absolutely killing your business. We're going to go into each one of these. Traditional website. Most of you, if not all of you, should have a website. If you're a business owner and you're watching this, if you've made it this far and you realize this is for you, you should have a website. Traditional website, as we know, um, uh, and this image kind of depicts is that actually, before I go into that, a couple of questions for you again to make this engaging. Number one, how long have you had your website? How long have you had your website? And if some of my team could drop those questions so I could pop them up, that would be great. How long have you had your website? Number two, how much money? And I want you to think about this there's a reason behind these questions. And I want you to think about these answers as we're going through this presentation, right? And it's going to make more sense if you take the time to answer these. It's going to make more sense as I go through this presentation. Number one, how long have you had your website? Number two, how much money did it cost you to develop, to build your website and to keep it right? To keep it just right. Right? How much money did it cost you to develop it and to maintain it? Number three, how much? And I know I'm going through these questions fast. I didn't preamp my team on this, so don't worry if you don't get all the questions up right away. Number three, how much time did it take you or your developer to build it out and get it just right? Because Lord knows I've never seen a website that I've launched on time. Right. So how much that is like the big dig, right? If you live in Massachusetts, it's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to come up. And then it's like it comes up years later, way over budget. Right. So how much time did it take you or your developer to build and get your website just right? Number four, are you able to look at your website, the analytics, the stats of your website, the page views, the button clicks, where people are going, how much time they're watching your videos? Are you able to look at your website's analytics in order to make informed decisions on how to scale your business? Are you able to do that with your existing website? And then lastly, and I'm going to pop some of these up. This was number one. Lastly, what has been the ROI that you can tie back directly to your website? What's been the ROI that you could tie directly to your website? Okay. So question one was this: how long have you had your website? This was number two. How much money did it cost you to develop and maintain it? Number three, how much time did it take you to build it and get it just right? And then don't worry, number four, are you able to look at your website? Oh, here we go. Number four, are you able to review your website analytics to make informed decisions about your business? And then lastly, number five is what has been the ROI that you can tie back directly to your website? Because here's the thing, the reason why I'm asking these questions, yeah, that's the last question right there. Thank you. My team is awesome. All right, so here's why I'm asking this question, because the way we look at a website is that your website can be amazing and getting you organic traffic and all this kind of stuff. And you have people coming to your website if you're able to see the analytics, but it ends up becoming a brick wall. It's a brick wall for you to be able to effectively answer these questions that I talked about. If you're struggling to answer these questions, right, that doesn't make sense in your business. You should be able to answer these questions to know what role your website is playing in your business versus just being a fancy business card that lives on the internet, right? So it tends to be a brick wall for you to try to figure out, and a lot of wasted time managing it, updating it, all this kind of stuff. But it's also a brick wall for your potential customers, right? Because they're coming to your website and there's all these things they could do on your website. They could go to the about, they could watch this video, they could read this blog, but at the end of the day, do they ever get to the point where they book a call with you or pick up the phone and call you or message you from your website, right? Most likely, we all know that you have 3 seconds to grab someone's attention with your website. Most likely, they're probably getting distracted. Life happens. I mean, I could open up my phone right now, and how many tabs I have on my phone of websites that I plan to go back to at some point in life is absolutely just ridiculous, right? And that is what happens. And that's why a website, especially if you're running ads to paid ads to your website, or relying on your website as your sole source of attracting and capturing your prospects and converting them into customers, it's a brick wall, right? And you're losing a lot of people through your website. Whereas a sales funnel is the opposite. A funnel is very focused. It's exactly as you see in this image. It's geared towards guiding the prospect down a specific path. Right away, within that first 3 seconds, it grabs their attention. It takes them to the next 3 seconds. Hey, here's what I want you to do. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here, and each of these are like 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, right? And it's keeping them engaged until the point where, hey, if you're interested in this, here's the next step. Here's what I want you to do next. Versus a website, they're kind of like, like a buffet, right? A website is like a buffet. They do whatever they want, right? They can just go anywhere they want, pick whatever they want. Whereas a funnel is guided. It's like a guided 7-course meal. It's just like the first thing comes out, then the next thing comes out, then the next thing comes out. That's what actually I just came up with that analogy on the fly. Hopefully it makes sense. But essentially a funnel is really geared towards guiding your prospect, holding their hand from the very first 3 seconds that they land and walking them through the journey, right? And building that relationship while you're walking them through the journey to get to the desired result, which is ultimately, if you're a business owner, to convert them into a client. Right. Here's another way to look at a website versus a funnel. Again, website, they could go anywhere they want. They could land on that home page, which we know in some cases your about page is probably where most of your traffic is going to. And then from there, they could go anywhere. Right. And you trying to piece together which page is getting results and which page is not, which page you should eliminate and which page you should keep, is just, good luck trying to figure that out with the analytics. Whereas a funnel is it's step by step. Right? If you have 2,000 people start on this sales page, you immediately see how many people went to the opt-in, then how many people went to the thank you, and then how many went to the next. And you can see where they're dropping off. And where you need to make improvements. Okay. So what are the top 5 reasons your website is killing your business? Number 1, too many distractions, no focus. Number 2, too many call to actions, decision fatigue. We all know about that, right? You're giving them, as a business owner, you want to limit the amount of options. If you're doing sales calls, you want to limit the amount of options you're giving the individual, right? You're diagnosing their problem, what they need, and then you give them the specific option that is right for them. You don't give them 2, 3, 4, 5 options. A website is giving them so many options, right? If you think about it this way, everything that your prospect can click on your website is a distraction. Talk about ADD on a hyperdrive, right? Everything that they could click on. So just look at your homepage alone and count every single, even probably your logo they could click on, right? Think about every single thing on your website, count each one, and you tell me how many things they could potentially get distracted by and click on. Right? That's each one of those is like a call to action, right? Uh, the stats are hard to track on a website, right? If you don't know, and again, I'm talking about like someone who's not a geek, someone who doesn't know how to do Google Analytics and all G4 and all this kind of stuff. If someone, if you know how to do all this stuff, you may have a good sense of your analytics, right? But for majority of people, especially people we work with, have no clue, right? No shade on them. It's just that that's not what their mission is, to save lives, change lives, transform lives, impact lives, not to figure out analytics on a website, right? It's too hard to make changes. Number 4, it's too hard to make changes. If you want to make a little change to your website, let's say you had someone develop it for you, if they did code or WordPress or Wix, or how many times you've even changed platforms for your website, right? Maybe you started on Squarespace, then you changed to WordPress, then you went to Wix, and you want to make a little tiny change on your website. Black Friday is coming. You want to add a little banner for Black Friday, and it's like almost impossible to figure that out, right? And it's impossible to A/B test. If you don't know what A/B test is, pretty simple. Let's say you have your homepage for your website. You have one version, and then you have another version, and you just make a slight change to the second version, right? Maybe the video. If you have a video on the first version and you have a video on the second version, the video on the second version is slightly different, or maybe an image on the first version and a video on the second version. But you're changing one thing to see which one gets you better results. It could even be colors. It could be the button change, whatever. Okay. Bonus for numbers of this, and what's in terms of killing your website, is that you're losing countless hours dealing with it. Right. Now here's the thing. Now let's be real, right? Let's be real. If you're watching this, as a business owner, unless you're a super diligent, focused person, which if you are, God bless you, we often tend to work on things that are not income generating activity. I mean, raise your hand. How many times you spent countless hours worrying and fretting about your website that is not generating any income for your business? Right? Raise your hand if that's you. Right? It's just, we just tend to lean or navigate to the things that are potentially easier to do versus like the things that we really should be doing, right? And when you're dealing with a website, it's an easy excuse. It's an easy distraction from what you really should be focusing on. Okay? So those are the 5 reasons your website aren't killing you. On the flip side, here's the funnel to save the day, right? Yeah, right, exactly. So thank you, Casey. So on the flip side, funnel to save the day, right? Funnels, no distractions. It's laser focus, right? Like I mentioned, when they land on that first page of the funnel, they have 2 options. That's it. They could stay and read through, take the desired action, watch the video, right? Or they could leave. That's it. There's no about, there's no all these other things to distract them, right? And number 2, only one call to action, right? They have one call to action. There's only one thing that you're looking for them to do: download, opt in, register, buy now, whatever it is. It's one call to action. The data and the stats you can make, it's very easy to analyze and see the stats per page in your funnel. And then you can make data-driven decisions as opposed to gut decisions or guessing type of thing, like with a website. Making tweaks or changes, you could do that on the fly. A funnel is actually very dynamic instead of a website where you hope to just set it and forget it. A/B split testing is super easy depending on the platform that you're using to build out the funnel. And then bonus, really a funnel should take you 4 weeks with the right strategy and launch plan. It should take you 4 weeks or so to launch each funnel, right? Unlike, again, a website, if you've ever had your website built by someone, They probably promised you that they'll build you the website in 2 months, 3 months, and it took you half a year to a year, right? Most cases, it's like closer to a year that I've seen for websites. Okay, that is the power of a funnel. Now, I'm not saying before I kind of go into Q&A here, I'm not saying websites are dead. Right? I'm not saying you don't need a website. I mean, actually, there's actually some strategies to use, and I'm going to cover 2 of those strategies right now, maybe 3, that you can use to leverage your website to drive traffic from your website into your funnel, right? You can actually divert some of that traffic from your website into the funnel that we're talking about. Just like in this case here, this is a client. And again, I'm sharing this not to in a way of like bragging or anything like that. I'm sharing this because this is an actual example of what I've just been, teaching you about. Okay. So it's less about the numbers here, but just showing you like what is possible. So we use this hello bar, the strategy. This client here was getting 2,500 to 3,000 visitors per day to her website. We used hello bar and was able to on her website and was able to divert some of that traffic to this funnel. It was a book funnel. We ran no ads, so no paid ads for this client. It was only organic traffic. You can see on the left-hand side, 48% of the people that landed, that clicked from the hello bar to the funnel, 48% of them opted in, which helps to grow this client's email list, which is awesome because there's, lead magnets don't convert this high. The list growth was about 2,500 people at the time of this screenshot. 12% books in terms of conversion. She sold 636 copies of her book, which was a 12% conversion rate. And then we had some other offers. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but we had some other things after someone got the book. We presented them with some other offers, and those also converted nicely as well, which led to a total of around, at the time of this screenshot, $24,000 in revenue for this client while selling more copies of the book, while breaking, in this case, breaking even because the cost for shipping the book and everything was covered. Okay. Here's another strategy for using your own website. You could still on a drop down, not my preferred strategy, but we've done it successfully. This is a client, doctor, who dealt with thyroid. And on his website, on the menu bar, when they clicked on services and they clicked on thyroid, it took them right into the funnel. You can see 1,594 people at the time of this screenshot opted in to learn more about how this doctor can help them with the thyroid problem, which is a 17% conversion rate, which is nice. But what we did is we also filtered these people out. We had them watch a video that was about 30 to 45 minutes long. 946 people watched that video, and they scheduled a call with our client, right? Which helps to just kind of filter people out who, if you're not willing to watch a video to help with your thyroid condition, well, maybe you're not really serious about solving that problem, right? Questions. Okay, so I covered quite a bit there. So I want to take a second to see if there are any questions so far. Okay, what we just covered is number one, the advantages of a funnel over a website. Again, not saying a website is dead. There's absolutely ways that you could leverage your website to drive some of that traffic, divert some of that traffic to a funnel. We do it all the time. But at the end of the day, a website is a lot of distraction, everything we talked about, whereas a funnel is very, very focused. So any questions on what we've covered so far before we go into number 2 here? So go ahead. Let me know as I pull this up. All right. So we're going to go. And if you have a question that comes up, that pops up as we're going through this, if you're still with me, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Let's make this as engaging as possible. Let me know, because from the platform that I'm using, I can see, it looks like there's three or five people watching right now. So don't be shy. Just give a thumbs up. Okay. Just let me know you're watching, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever else, LinkedIn, wherever else we're streaming. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know you are there and I'm not alone. All right. So second, there are 3 types of funnels. So we just talked about the advantage of a funnel over a website. And now we're going to talk about, this is high level. We haven't gotten into the weeds yet. There are 3 types of funnels, and we're going to cover where exactly to use them in your business and when. Okay, 3 types of funnels. Awesome. Thank you, Diane. 3 types of funnels, and we're going to talk about where exactly to use them in your business and when. So the first type of funnel, okay, is called an acquisition funnel. An acquisition funnel. The question here, so before I go into the details, the question for you to think about, if to answer, to know whether you need this funnel right now in your business, is, do you have a system in your business right now that is consistently growing your email list with potential clients? Do you have a system in your business right now that runs 24/7 and is consistently growing your email list, with filling your email list up with potential clients? Okay. If you don't have that, then an acquisition funnel is possibly where you need to start, right? The goal of the acquisition funnel is to acquire as many new prospects and customers as possible. Bonus of an acquisition funnel is to break even while you're doing that. Meaning, if you're running ads to grow your list, you're spending $40 a day, $100 a day, you're making back that $100 a day as you're doing so. That would be the bonus. That would be like the cherry on the top, right? But ultimately, an acquisition funnel is geared towards growing that list. Exactly what it sounds like, acquire. Some examples of acquisition funnels are splinter offers, quizzes, free plus shipping, video documentaries, cheat sheets, ebooks, and these could be zero. For someone to come into this acquisition funnel, it could be $0. It could be up to $100. Okay, but the again, at the end of the day, it's not about the money with the acquisition funnel. It's about growing your list, and if you could break even while doing so, even better. Okay, so here's an example. So earlier I showed you guys this example, one of our clients. This is where I talked about like 1 month later. Now, most likely, be honest, did you only focus on the $98,898.69? Right? Is that what caught your eyes? And maybe some of the colors, right? Be honest if that what your focus was. If it was, that's great, right? Obviously, we're business owners. We want to figure out how to make more money, right? And as I say money, just know in my heart that the way the way I look at it, it's a value exchange, right? So I may use the term money, and I may be showing you these big numbers, but know that really at the end of the day, it's like my client said, I'm part of changing and saving lives, and I know that's what you are in business to do as well, right? But there's a value exchange. For you to stay in business, you need something, and that is typically money, right? So actually, the way I would say it, when you see these bigger numbers that I'm sharing with you, just think about the impact that, in order to be able to make, for my clients to make these kind of revenue, that means they're having a bigger impact. They're changing lives, saving lives, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, back on topic. Now, if you were focusing on the numbers, no, the 98,000, that's no worries. But what you probably didn't notice is that for this 1 month, the opt-in for this client was 13,472. That means this client's email list in 1 month grew by 13,472 individuals. Okay. That is one of the goals of an acquisition funnel, to grow your email list, while at the same time, bonus on top is to break even. Here's another one. This is the medical doctor with the book that was 3 years old when we built this. Again, you probably focused on the 73,000, but what you probably didn't notice is that there was 12,903 people who got onto his email list. Out of those 12,903, only 5,179 purchased the book at that time. Okay, that's a little hint there. At that time, only 5,179, but his list grew by 12,000, almost 13,000. Here's a recent one. He's a recent client. This is literally just today is November 16th. If you're watching this video later on, it's November 16th, 2023. This client, we started working. This is from Active Campaign. There's a screenshot. I just took this last night. We started working with this client in November of last year, 2022. And you can see the email list for this client was around 7,000 back then. And you can see the growth over the year's time frame. And you can see that right here, it says November 1st of 2022 to November 15th of 2023. A 439% increase in her email list from 6,727 to 36,300. Okay. Again, the power of an acquisition funnel to grow your email list. A typical acquisition funnel would look like this. There's the opt-in, which is usually free. Then there's this upsell. This is where this upsell is when I talk about breaking even. This is where that upsell, that breaking even process happens. I won't go into all of that right now because, again, the goal of the acquisition funnel is to grow your list. The bonus is to upsell them something where you do break even with it. But this is typically what an acquisition funnel would look like. So it is not, if you're thinking, oh, that's a lead magnet. No, it is not just a lead magnet. A lead magnet, they usually opt in and then they go to a thank you page and it's done, right? This is not the same thing at all. Right? Okay, so this is, let me see. Oh, this is actually a perfect acquisition funnel right here. This was a 7 lessons for the, again, no, this is another client where we didn't do any paid ads. It was only organic traffic. You can see 47, only almost 48% opted in for the lead magnet, which was a 7-day course. And you can see we had 12,000, again, no ads, 12,000 unique visitors, almost 13,000 unique visitors. 6,000 of them, almost half of them opted in, which helped to grow this client's email list by 6,000. And then 5% of them took us up on this tripwire, right? You can see the revenue there, $3,582.55. In this client's case, since there was no ads, no paid ads, this $3,582.55 was, pretty much all profit because this was a digital product. This was a digital book. And then another 8% took us up on another digital, is a series of interviews, relationship-based interviews. Okay, so $873 there. So this is a perfect example of an acquisition funnel where you're growing the list and also offsetting the cost of growing that list. Okay, if you're running ads. Okay, so what's the real reason? Okay, we're almost at the top of the hour here. So we have about 10 minutes left. So I knew I wouldn't be able to get through all these slides, which is completely fine. So again, this is where I wanted to be kind of engaging, making sure I'm not losing you because this is a 4-part series. So question for you, and maybe I'll start to wrap up here after this question, is what is the real reason? After I've gone through this, what do you think is the real reason for growing your email list? Okay, what is the real reason? If the bonus, the cherry on top, is to break even, so it's not really about money, what do you think is the real reason of growing your email list? Okay, let me know. I'm not going to answer that question. I want to see people answer it, whether you're watching now or the replay. I want to see what the responses are for this question. Okay, so let's see. I think I think what I'm gonna do is quickly talk about what we will be going into next. So next, we just talked about one type of funnel, which is the acquisition funnel. The next one is called the activation funnel. The first one is exactly what it sounds like. The first one is to grow the list. The second one is to activate them, essentially to turn those prospects into customers, right? Turn those prospects into customers. Now, you may be saying, well, Joel, the funnel you just showed me, the one we looked at, let me go back, the one we looked at right here, it looks like some of these people already became customers, right? 91 people actually whipped out their wallet and they actually made a value exchange of money. Absolutely right. That's why there's definitely some overlap in some of these funnels if you have the right strategy there's definitely some overlap where one funnel, like this one that we built for this client, can actually do both. It could be acquire them and activate them. And there's actually a third, which I'll go into next week or the week after next, because next week is Thanksgiving. There's actually a third, and there's funnels that can actually do all three. Okay, but it all depends on where you are in your business and what you need right now, what makes the most sense. So that's a little pre-look into what we're going to be covering. I have about, what slide am I on? I have no idea what slide I'm on. I'm probably halfway in. It's actually, like I mentioned at the top, this is a pretty robust training. I want it to be super clear what this is so that you can make an informed decision. With that being said, if what I've shared so far for you has hit a mark, right, and you like, yeah, this is exactly what I've been struggling with. So far we've only talked about acquiring, building that list. If you know the value of building that list, and you know that you've been struggling with that, and I kind of tease that activation funnel. If you have a list, you have a Facebook group, you have a community, but yet you feel like you're leaving money on the table, you haven't been able to convert those individuals into customers. You haven't been able, another way to put it, you haven't been able to influence them enough for them to realize that you can be the change that they need in their life. And you feel like, man, I'm not serving these people at the highest level that I should and could be serving them. Then what I'll ask you to do is to click on the link. Someone on my team is going to drop a link in a second here, and schedule a call with me, right? Because one of my favorite quotes is, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Right? You started that journey for your business, however many months, years ago, right? And we all know, like, as a business owner, I understand. I understand uh, that you have your peaks, you have your valleys, right? You have your highs and your lows. You have your feast or famine. You have all the things that come with running a business, and you've been taking those steps along that journey, right? You've broken milestone after milestone. That first dollar, that first $5,000 month, that first $10,000 month, and maybe you've plateaued, and you can't scale from there. Maybe you're seeing a dip, right? Every time something happens in the economy or presidential election, your business gets impacted, right? Or you as the business owner, your energy is not there. You can't do sales calls. Life happens, and every time something happens to you, your business is impacted. And you need systems and automation, right, in your business. You've seen people do it, and you know people that potentially are doing it, or you see people posting about it, but you just don't know how to get there. You don't know the steps, right, to get from where you are now, because who you are now is not the person that's going to get you to where you want to go, right? There needs to be a change. And so I encourage you, if that's you, to click on the link that my team just dropped and schedule a call today. You don't have to wait for the other 3 sessions, right? If this resonates with you, schedule a call with me today. We'll do a strategy call, no cost, understand where you are right now, and help you to define or figure out which funnel you need, whether it's an acquisition funnel, activation funnel. I'm not going to talk about the third one. If you book a call, we'll definitely talk about the third one. And then which out of those, which specific funnel makes sense for you, right? Free plus shipping, webinar, challenge, whatever it is that makes sense for your business right now to implement first, to help you to start to grow and scale. So look, the journey is not over. If you're frustrated, if you've been not knowing where to turn, I get it. Um, you know, um, keep taking those steps. And the next step for you is to schedule a call with me. If you're not ready, completely understand. Then the next step for you is to stay tuned and watch our next session, which will be 2 weeks from now. And I'll leave you there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for engaging, whether you engage live or you're going to be engaging on the replay. Definitely let me know any questions that you have. I look forward to hearing from you, answering your questions, and potentially figuring out value exchange between our two businesses and helping you to grow and scale your business with no chaos, right? Automations and systems. Until then, until our next session, I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time, enjoy the family. Try not to stress out about the business, right? Put it down, shut it off, right? Put the laptop in the basement or something, and enjoy the time. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, peace.